What's up, guys? I'm Frenzy. Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with Sh4rkice. His castle level is a 14, I believe. So this should, change my level down. Because he did create a challenge for me. We'll see. Alright, so he's got kind of a double pull here. I think I remember actually doing something like this. I believe in the comments he said that he copied a little bit of one of my videos. I think that I set something up like this in one of my videos, and I would say since then I've learned a little bit, and kind of the thing that I've learned, right, is that if someone goes up around the top, you're coming in from this angle, you're never going to hit this pull. It's just something to think about. It's not necessarily bad because they do waste time going around there, and it's only one group. And if you have the space in your castle, right, like this one group isn't a huge deal in the overall, the grand scheme of things. So we'll come in here. I do remember this one. Get pulled by this into the fire. I still kind of like this room. It's very basic, and it still does damage. I would say if you can spread out the archers to like this side and that side, it'll probably be better. I might not have done that, but I was still learning when I was making those videos as well. So I would spread those out, maybe put them farther back and stuff like that, just so you have arrows coming from every different direction. The overall placement is pretty good. I don't know exactly where your hunger bot was positioned. It was probably similar to what I did, but that was so long ago that I don't remember. Have him down in this area though. You want to have your hunger bot come up under the skill bar, so have him down to the left hand side of the trap. Alright, and then there's this where you have this kind of... Alright, so I mean this is good against volleys. I'm like better at the game than I was back then, and that most people will be when they're doing your castle. So I'm a little bit better at dodging headshots and stuff like that nowadays. Alright, so you have another thing here. I'm just taking a look. Alright. So yeah, I mean just spread out your archers, keep them always spread out, because it's better to have shots coming in from different angles, it's harder to dodge them. Alright, and then I get stunned, but as soon as your Cyclops gets up to level 4, this will do a lot better. Because I did have a moment that I probably could have dodged those archer shots. But so far so good, I think. Again, I would spread out your archers to like these areas. Don't just clump them up because it makes it really easy to AoE them down later on. You should just get kind of used to that, you know? Alright, so then you have a Zeke here. I sort of like the Zeke. The four Squidlies to me, it sounds like there's going to be something, either a Scorpio pulling me or a Hunger Bot or archers or something like that. Like these four Squidlies, to me they scream, I want you to attack these four so that something else can happen. To other players that might not happen, right? I'm a little bit more experienced than people that are in the level 14 range. Like if I was you, I would probably just make it more solid by taking out the Squidlies and adding in like a Defendertron guarding the Zeke and, maybe a support or something with the Zeke. But as long as this is working for you, I don't think it's necessarily bad. Okay, I don't really like 3 charging Cyclopses though. I've never really liked them, just because, I mean, that's their damage, like, that was what they did right there. And then afterwards, the overall, like, attack speed and damage that they do is a lot lower than the other 2 forms of Cyclopses. I'm not saying that charging Cyclopses are bad, I'm just saying I would prefer to have some other type of a unit. Because they're not, like, the tankiest unit, they're not the highest damage dealing unit, the real utility is coming from that initial charge. So you really only need 1, maybe 2 to get that charge, depending on like angles and stuff. If I was you, I'd probably have 1 up here, and then something else to either tank or damage, depending on what you want to do. That being said, the way that this is kind of coming, I'm going to be able to see what's coming before I aggro the group. So keep that in mind, just because, it's coming up towards the top of the screen. Alright, the charging Cyclops with a Jimbo, that feels kind of weird to me, because you want players to get close to the Jimbo, right? So, if I was you, I would add more to complement the Jimbo if you're going to use him, rather than using a Cyclops that's pushing you away from him. I would say something like a Defendertron guarding the Jimbo, and maybe like an Enrager or an Enrager Puppeteer or a Medic Puppeteer or a Bad Dog. I don't know, like, if you have all of those units. I know you have a puppeteer, but I'm not sure if you have bad dogs yet. There's other things that you can do, like a hunger bot is sometimes okay. You can pull them in close to the Jimbo. It's not as good, but there's a couple things you can do that are probably better than having a Cyclops in that spot. Now, what I'm going to say about this is, first of all, you want to move your mines. Because you notice I'm kind of like waiting for these guys to charge up, and then I can hide behind these mines, and I can take no damage. Okay, so you don't want people to be able to do that. This is a really good room for archers because it's wide open. And you can see that all the archers bunch up. As soon as I hide behind this mine, they all start to walk towards me because they can't hit me. So you want to find spots for all of these mines, because people are going to hide behind those mines eventually. Just make sure all your archers are spread out down here. And I think this is good. I used to use this, and it was actually having a pretty high success rate in the lower levels, so I like that quite a bit. Alright, so not too bad. You know, as you progress through the game, you're going to have more and more options available to you, and you'll be able to get better tactics to actually kill heroes with. So we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, and for number 2 we have HeavenWolf, castle level 13, so we'll just jump into it and kind of go quickly and just make sure that he has everything set up, you know, vision, stuff like that. Since he doesn't have anything that can stun you or really highly effectively pull you or anything like that, it's really just the solid stuff, right? Like, this is good if it's pulling through the wall. I'm not sure if it was or if it was just a fake. Looks like it might have been just a fake. If you have a group down here, I would say pulling it through the wall is the correct thing to do. Alright, so a charge, and then a couple archer shots. Alright, I don't really think you need 2 Cyclopses charging. I think that just 1 and another archer, and you could even like spot for the Cyclops if you wanted to, is a little bit better. Alright, we'll continue forward. Yeah, I mean, I think you're just missing an opportunity here to pull a unit through the wall, so that the hero has to wait for it to walk around. You know, pull like a Scorpio or something if you have Scorpios. I don't remember all the levels that you get certain units at, but you could pull a Pete Poundmore through it. That'll work as well. Alright. So it looks like one of these is skippable. Although it's kind of easy for me to pull 2 groups here, which is nice, you definitely don't want anything skippable. I believe one of the 2 is skippable regardless. That being said, I do like the Defendatron with the Dr. Skull. Although the Dr. Skull is on healing, so I like that less actually now. I would have liked it better if he was on Resurrect. Just for your level, I think that would be pretty good. On healing, I've said it a couple of times where I don't really like Dr. Skulls for healing in these smaller groups, because there's only 20 worth of units that you can use, and Dr. Skull takes up half of that. That's half of your, you know, supply just going to a support unit that's going to heal. So I don't really like that. And also I think you should fix things like this, that I can completely skip this, and the aggro circle isn't really in an area where I'm even in danger of aggroing this, you know? So I would much rather you have it so that, you know, this one can't be skipped here, and maybe you have this linked somehow, like, through into the half of this or something. I don't know what you could do with it, but just make it so you can't skip mobs, because it makes your castle way too easy. Alright, so I like the Scorpio kind of pulling you and possibly throwing you. I'm gonna see what this springboard trap does in a second. I don't really know if I like the Smelly Warrior. I don't think it's terribly bad though. It looks like this just throws you into a Jimbo. That's not bad. I don't think the Cyclops is really necessary. I would like more support for the Jimbo itself. Like, if this works out, you're gonna have a Scorpio and you're gonna have a Jimbo. So really you just need support for these 2 units. Like, the Archer is okay because he adds DPS. The Cyclops really doesn't add all that much damage. He just knocks you away, which can force you to like be knocked out of a Jimbo swing or out of a Scorpio's hook. So you don't want that to happen, right? So I would prefer you to have like some sort of a puppeteer, either healing or enraging, maybe a Defendatron linked to the Jimbo, maybe a bad dog. Anything like that I think would be a little bit better than the Cyclops. Alright, it looks like another... I saw the what do you call it? Springboard trap on the ground there, but I don't think many people would have seen that. I think that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it's another one where you're going to get pulled and you're going to get thrown into the boss room, and 2 Jimbos are going to hit me, which is pretty good. And then you'll have, 4 elites on you, so I think that'll be pretty good for your level. And the good thing about Scorpios, using them with springboard traps, regardless, Scorpios are going to take a certain amount of time to kill. So, it doesn't have the same weaknesses that a one with Hungerbots would do. Also, Scorpios have a faster hook than Hungerbots, so I would almost advise using Scorpios in all of your pulls if you're under level 20 or level 4 Hungerbots. So not too bad of a castle. Just, those things about skipping mobs, you really don't want any of your mobs to be skippable, and I think you'll be doing a bit better after you fix that. So yeah, we'll jump into number 3 in just a second. Alright, for number 3 we have this guy's name that I'm not even going to try to pronounce. And his castle level is a 19, so we'll jump into it on my knight. Same level as my knight, so we'll see if I can make it through it okay. So kind of the same problem that I've talked about. I don't really think charting Cyclopses have all that much utility beyond their initial, what do you call it, charge. Like, that pushing thing is the only real benefit. The pushing plus the stun, in my opinion, is the only real benefit you can get. He did have a decent amount of survivability, but I wasn't really using any abilities because I was talking. Because of the heal. But I would say that an archer or something like that to add more DPS, or, I don't know. I wouldn't say another Defendatron would be good, but I'm sure there's other things that would be better than another Cyclops there. Alright, you have a Zeke. With a Defendatron, I like that. You don't have any support with it though. You have like a few extra points here, where you could add in a 3-point creature, I believe. I guess you wouldn't have the spotter in that case, but you can actually use Zeke as a spotter as long as he's linked with the Defendatron, because he can't take damage, right? So it's okay to have the Zeke, out forward and have the Defendatron behind him. I would prefer that probably over not having a support for him. I'd prefer to try to get him. That's gonna hurt. Oh, that might kill me. Alright, I'm alive. So let me take a look. Your Stairmasters, it looks like, are right on the edge of getting an upgrade. And so because of that, I didn't die. And that's really the only reason. I still might die if I don't dodge this hook, and I didn't. Alright. But yeah, that should be instant death as soon as you get up to level 20 Stairmasters. You should be very close. Like, it should be your next upgrade, I'm assuming. So I don't remember what I was saying about the previous room, if I finished my statement, because I kind of was about to die, so I sort of dropped that, but I think I was talking about support for Zeke being better, and yeah, I think that supports are better. Trying to get his attack speed raised, or even, healing the Defendatron to keep his DPS alive as long as possible. This room in and of itself is good. Obviously the 4 Stairmasters are going to be really bad if this hook fails, but I think this hook is set up pretty nicely. Like, I've been looking for more spots to throw in exactly this trap, because I think that it's a pretty good trade-off to have 1 or 2 of these in a castle of my size. 1 of these in a castle of your size is probably good enough, right? Because this is avoidable, so you don't want to have the 4 Stairmasters that are going to be almost useless if this pull doesn't go through, right? So you don't want to have too many of those groups that are going to be useless and not really take all that much time. However, the fact that you can kill someone 100% of the time is pretty good. And obviously you will be able to as soon as you upgrade your Stairmasters. Alright, so the only problem here is that I would say that you're... what room is this? I know what room this is. I don't really like this room, specifically because of what just happened here. What basically happened is you had the Pete Poundmore, which is fine. Like, the overall setup was fine. I wasn't able to skip it and stuff like that. The problem is the Puppeteer, whatever ability he was on, he kind of walked over to this point, and by the time he got here, summoned his skeletons and was about to do something with the Pete Poundmore, whatever he was about to do. I had already almost killed the Pete Poundmore, so if it was Enrage, he would have almost been dead. If it was Medic, he probably would have been dead as soon as my smite was back up. So that's the only problem, is like having something coming around like that, where the puppeteer isn't enraged with the hero to be able to summon his skeletons beforehand. That's the only problem with it. So this is an interesting one. It's kind of working against each other, right? Like the Cyclops is pushing you away and the Scorpio is trying to hook you in. I don't think that's necessarily bad. The only way that I could see that being bad is if I aggro this and the Scorpio throws his hook and then the Cyclops pushes me up above this wall and it kind of auto dodges by itself. You don't have dampeners yet, or I would say a dampener would be better. Puppeteers can be okay, Defendatrons can be okay. Cyclopses can be okay with the over-the-head smash. I prefer that when you're using Scorpios in conjunction with Cyclopses. It's not terribly bad, but... Alright, so then you had one of these kind of traps here. Level 20 Hunger Bots. Let me kill the archers, get rid of this DPS. So I'll have to see where this goes. I'm probably just gonna, see if it kills me. I'll like take a look beforehand to make sure it's not Stairmaskers again. It looks like this shouldn't kill me just by going through it, so I'll see what happens. Alright, it's just right into a Pete Poundmore. I would really like your Pete Poundmore to be enraged in some way. Like, it severely increases his DPS output if he's enraged or howled. So I would love like a Bad Dog here or a Enrager Puppeteer. Because you're being thrown there, and if you had a Puppeteer here, this would be a lot better, because he's in sight of the hero. You could have him over here or whatever, and, you enrage, you summon your skeletons, and then you enrage the closest thing to the hero, which is going to be the Pete Poundmore. So I would like that in that circumstance. Alright, this is an interesting thing you have going on here. Personally, I don't really like the battering rams. I don't think they're in the best place. I do like... It's a pretty neat room. I mean, it's not really going to kill anybody, but it's going to be annoying for knights to deal with if they start getting, hammered down by the battering rams and pulled all over the place by the Hunger Bots. It's okay in that sense. I would say an Archer volley would probably clean almost all of this up in one volley. If not, it would be severely low life, right? It would be severely damaged, so... I think for an Archer it would probably be an easy cleanup. For a Knight, maybe a little bit more annoying, but I don't really like the battering rams. I'm not sure what else you could put in there. Maybe a Defendatron on like AoE so that it blocks from volley. And then it makes the Hunger Bots a little bit harder to clean up. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly, but... Although you already have Bodyguard here, so... I wouldn't say, it's worth switching it out, because Defendatrons with Bodyguard are pretty good. I use them in my castle. I'm just trying to spitball ideas, because I don't know about the battering rams. Alright, I like this. It flanks around. You got him protected. That's a pretty good one. It's pretty easy for me to keep going and expect that these are like linked to the next mob group, I guess. I don't know, you want them as close as possible to the next mob group, I'd say. This seems like it's a half of a group. So I'm not sure if you didn't have enough points to fill it up, but you only had one Cyclops and one Archer. Obviously more Archers would be better. And then you have a random springboard trap here that no one's ever going to step on if they've ever seen a springboard trap in their life. Alright, so you have a the Cyclops is, I would say, a little bit weird. I'm not sure what his purpose is. Like, I like everything else. You've got the healer that... I know what you did. You basically took the setup that I had before, and instead of using the Dr. Skull, you put in a Puppeteer, which I like. I think that saving those 7 points is good. I'm just wondering what else you could put in here with those 7 points beyond a Cyclops. That might do more damage, or something like that. Because, I mean... A lot of these situations that you have Cyclopses in, beyond like the Archer combo with the charging Cyclops, I think the over-the-head smash would be better for raw damage. But I'm not sure. I mean, you could throw in an Archer, but it's one Archer. It's not going to do that much. I guess you have to chase it down as you're trying to like kill off the Defendatrons. Maybe it's good. I don't know. There's a few things you could probably try out with this extra 7 points that you've gotten, that might be better than what you have here. Overall, it wasn't too bad of a castle, though. I think that's number 3, so we're going to end the video here. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe, leave a like. If you want to be a part of viewer castles, you can add me and create a challenge. You should probably also do one of the next things to let me know that you did create a challenge, because my friend list is growing by 10 friends almost daily, so I'm up to like 120 friends or something like that, so it's kind of hard to go through the entire friends list looking for a challenge. So you could let me know that you create a challenge, or just apply to have me do your castles by emailing me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com, or commenting on my castle or on a video. So with that, we'll end the video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.